So I'm Akshay Chirde and with me Vipin Kumar. So we will do the session on the CQRS with the .NET services. So first, Vipin can introduce yourself.
Hey, hi, myself Vipin Kumar. Very good afternoon to everybody. And right now I'm working with claims team with Duck Creek. I have around 11 years of experience in .NET technologies and working as a team lead from this year's onward. Thank
Okay,
you, Akshay.
so
Yeah.
yeah, so we can move forward. So today's session etiquette, knowledge is functionality. So join session 5 minutes prior to the session start time. So we start on time and conclude on time. The second one, feedback. Make sure to submit the constructive feedback for sessions. So that will help us. And then silent mode, keep your mobile devices in the silent mode. Feel free to move out session in case you need to attend an urgent call and avoid the disturbance. So today's agenda is like introduction to the CQRS, introduction to the mediators, and key points, key components of the CQRS, when to use the CQRS and advantages of CQRS demos, and then after that conclusion. And overview of CQRS, like CQRS stands for the command and queries responsibilities segregation. Actually, in that we can separate the queries and command when we are doing the CRUD operations. So that reduce the complexity and scalability and maintainable code in the large applications. So we will go with the introduction of the CQRS. So introduction to CQRS. CQRS stand for command and query responsibilities segregation and uses to separate the read and write queries. And the queries perform read operations and command uh, operation perform write operation like create, update, and delete the written data. And as we know, in our application, we mostly use single data model to read and write the data, which work actually which will work fine. But when we perform the CRUD operation, that time application is actually in the vast application. In that case, our queries written different data type as data type data different type of data as an object, so that it can become hard to manage with the different data objects. Also, same model is used to perform the write operation, as the result model become more complex. And also, when we use the same model for both the read and write operation, the security also hard to manage when application is large, and entity might expose the data in the wrong context due to workload on the same model. And secures help to decouple the operational and makes the application more scalable and flexible on the large scale applications. And introduction to the mediator. Actually, mediator is used to help the dependencies between the object, and then preventing them from directly communicating with each other while doing CRUD operations. So that time it is the middle part between the queries and command and handler actually. So that time we use. So mediator pattern help to reduce the direct dependency between the multiple object and make them collaborative through the mediator. Instead, the communication happen through mediator, and this help implementation of the securities. And command and queries are sent to the mediator and map them to the respect to their handlers. So in .NET Core mediator provide classes that help to communicate with the multiple object efficiently in the loosely coupled manner. Yeah, here the key components of the CQRS in the .NET, that is commands. Commands represent action that can change the state. They are handled by the command handler, and the queries represent data retrieval without side effect. So that they are handled by the query handler. And domain model define the business logics and the rules. And the read model optimized for the queries can be denormalized for the performance. Write model focus on the encapsulating the business logic and the state changes. These are the key components. Next slide is the high level architecture of the CQRS and mediator. In that web APIs hit the request to the controllers, and uh, in the CRUD operation we separate the queries and command, and in between we have mediator that help to and decouple the queries and command from the uh, query handler and uh, commands, and actually it is used to map the uh, request from the user to the database and decouple from it. Yeah. When we can use the CQRS, when application is used and access the same data in the parallel, and CQRS help to reduce the merge conflict while performing the multiple operation with the data. In day-to-day terminology, if domain data is is complex and need to perform many operation on priority like validations and executing some business logic. So in that case, we need consistency. So that help actually. In that case, we can use this. And when uh, has a high demand of data consumption, like I can give example here like Amazon and Netflix. These companies mostly high consumption of data and transferring. So these are the companies used CQRS. And performance of the data must read and must be tuned separately from the performance of the data writes, and especially when the number of read is much greater than the number of writes. So there is a need of a team to focus on the complex domain models. So that is the part of the write model, while the another team can focus on read model and user interface. Some are the advantages of the CQRS. So separation of concern, when the read and write are separated and the model become more maintainable and flexible. So the read model is typically simpler, and while the write model involve more complex business logic. So that are the advantages. And optimize the data schema on read side schemas can be optimized for the queries, and on write side schemas can be optimized for the update. And simpler queries application queries can be avoid complex join by storing the materialized views in the read database. And security is it is easier to ensure that only right domain entities are performing right on the data. uh, Demo can be done by I think within. So can you present your
Okay.
screen or
So, hey, hi. So, this was all about CQRS as per the demo, because we have some restrictions on the system. So we are going to share the code from my side from Visual Studio Code, and then I'll show you the Swagger images to you as well. So I'm just sharing my screen first to show you the how we can implement the CQRS, and after that we will go ahead with the uh, uh, Swagger things, right? Just hold on a second. I'm just sharing my screen. Yeah. So let me know if you can see my screen.
yes, it is
Actually,
visible.
okay. So this is the basically let me yeah. So this is the folder structure. To implement CQRS, first of all, what you need to do is you need to implement the mediator plugins. After that, only you can go ahead with that. Let me move towards the main part. Yeah. So we have this over here in the library. We have this commands. Commands is something where we have the create, update, and delete operation kind of stuff. And then we also have queries. Uh, these queries are something, these are basically your command model and your query model, which is basically used by the query handlers and command handlers. So what exactly media tier do is media tier takes off from the controller side. If I look into the controller side, you can see it's take off from the controller side. And it will take place and it will check that whether it's a create or it is a command or a query, and then it segregate into several part. For example, if you look into that, we have insert command here. Media tier is calling for this particular stuff, and so this will basically call your command handler. And command handler will basically takes place over here, which will check that this insert person command, which is basically your command model, it take place with that, and accordingly it will hit your data access layer, and from there onward it will go to the respective DB and change the state of the application. Similar thing happen with the query itself. So how it works, like media tr to your command and query handler. From there, it you can manipulate with the help of these query models, which basically take care of the stuff like you need not to create the more view and all other stuff. You can define your model like query models over here, or write command models over here, which will basically handles by the handler, and that's how it will basically work. Rest of the thing is fine because it is a pattern, so we need to understand the pattern itself, how it is designed. Moreover, you can also break it down into sub-module type. For example, I have created it for person, so we can have it one particular command model segregation for person. We can have it for employees. We can have it for different modules separately, so that it will be easier for both the things like get and put, or you can say command and queries, and it will be handled minutely, and some modules will be easier and it will be handled easily. And basically it's not implemented for hello world type of small you can say small project. It is used under the larger data and larger operations. So that is all about the code, and let's move towards yeah, Akshay, can you share the screen for the Swagger thing?
Yes, sure.
So, nothing much in the Swagger. What we can say is we just tested that. After implementing that, first we go for the get image. Yeah, go down to yeah. So first of all, this one is one for the get all person. So we have two data over here like Vipin and Akshay. And after that, we implemented the command like we hit the post. Next slide, please. So we created this post command, and after that again, next slide. In the get, we are getting the three records as well. So our command query execution was fine because every application was working fine. So that was all about CQRS. I hope you enjoyed that. And uh, so the conclusion, we can say that CQRS and media TRs are basically a great architecture pattern because yes, it's subdivide and remove some complexities, and it's a very useful software architecture because for the again I'm saying that it's for the large scale application, and implementing this with the .NET services will be very beneficial for the in certain setups like agile where small teams are there and you have to build a big application, or something like that where you need small modules. You can you need something like that. It's a kind of part of the microservices because we can say that this is a very good architecture in case when you have a larger amount of transactions, and it basically increase your productivity as well. Yeah, thank you.
So anyone have any questions, so they can ask, we can explain. I think no one have any questions, right?
Yeah, Himanshu, we can give them back the 25 minutes. They can enjoy or work, whatever they like. It's a weekend as well.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, audible now.
Yeah, you were saying something. I couldn't hear you well.
Actually, we have done the sessions, so it was so quick now.
Okay, okay. So soon you wrap it up. Fine.
Yeah, it was a very, actually, it was a pattern and it was a very crisp and small concept. So
Okay,
everything is
but
fine.
I would rather suggest that if there are, I guess, 9 minutes remaining, your session, if you'll be ending it right now, it will not be eligible for scoring. So you need to stretch it up for at least 30 minutes. So if you are having anything else to discuss with the participants who have joined the session, that would be good for you and for the others also.
Okay, okay. Let me fetch something from Google so that I can show some diagram.
Meanwhile, Vipin Akshay, I just had this question with the command query request segregation and mediator. Is this handling only in the in-process scenario, or it can be out of process as well? Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Sorry.
Yeah. So I had this
Sorry.
question.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I think yeah. So it works for both in process and out process, as CQRS have their own advantage and trade-offs as well. But choice between them depends on different factors like complexity and require scalability requirement. So it depends upon the user, or you can say that the dev who are working on it, or the architecture team who work on it, that which process they are working on. So CQRS is something which is basically a pattern. It's independent to the these in process and out process. So we can implement it
Does
to the both.
does mediator provides it out of the box, or if for suppose if you want to implement it out of process, does mediator provides it, or do we have to plug it something else?
Uh, uh, I think there are, I mean, auto process can be can involve using systems like maybe I think RabbitMQ and Azure Bus Service, something like that, to put your things into the application like that.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay.
And let me, I was looking for something actually. but it was a good question. Thank you so much. Okay, so a few pointers that I can give as of now is like if you want to implement the CQRS, first of all, you need to, excuse me, you need to implement with the media TR itself. In that case, you need to install the package first from the Nugget itself. You can do that with the CLI. You can do that. After that, you have to define the commands and queries like uh, these are the basically command model or query model which you want to implement. And to implement that, you need to have some you need to specify the command handler and query handler. And these are something which are the crux, or you can say the core of the CQRS, because without it, it won't be possible to, segregate the things. And after that, you have to set up the dependency injection with the media TR. You can do that with the as we do in every .NET Core application, like service dot add media TR, and in the in the configure services, and then you can register your DB context as well with uh, in the configure services itself. And in the end, all you need to do is you need to create the controllers constructor. Over there, you can initialize your media TR object. And after that, all you can do is you need to create the command with the help of your command query. And after that, you need to just run the await media TR object and send command or something like that. It will automatically segregate your data from insert and update or delete, I mean query or command kind of stuff. Moreover, there are if you are learning about CQRS, you must also learn about the distributed system as well. Uh, so if I talk about the distributed system, so distributed system is something which is basically, yes, 1 minute, please.
Okay, so I guys, if you're having any other queries, then it is fine to have it discussed over here only. If
Yeah.
not, then I guess we are good to wrap up from here. We shall have to wait for another 2 minutes.
Yeah, just I'm just giving some updates about the some few glimpse about the distributed system.
Okay,
So yeah,
okay, that's fine.
so distributed system is basically comes under system design, which is basically a component of a software application where we have multiple things to consider. Like we have communication protocols, which means what kind of interaction will be there in between the components. Like, and these common protocols are like we want to have HTTP protocols, we want to have TCP IP, or we want to have messaging protocol like MQTT or something like Kafka. Second part we can say is service-oriented architecture, where we are it's basically architectural pattern where applications are composed of loosely coupled and independently deployable. Modules are each service perform basically specific business function or communicates with other services with well-defined interfaces or something. Then in distributed system itself, we have another configuration, like we can have this microservice architecture where we have smaller breakdown of the application, independently deployable service. And these services are basically smaller in size, and small teams operate them. And these are basically microservices. Then we have one more component like service discovery into it. Load balancing is another component which is very important kind of stuff. Like when you have multiple load balancing, basically ensure that incoming requests are evenly distributed, and multiple instances of services must be there so that they can optimize the performance and utilizations as well. Another one of the important part will be fault tolerance and resilience. Uh, Fault tolerance is basically if something went wrong in that particular case, what need to be done. So we have saga pattern or something, circuit breaker techniques, redundancy technique, replication techniques. Multiple techniques are there. Most of you folk have also worked with them. And we have distributed data management as well, where distributed systems often distributed across multiple nodes or for scalability and tolerance. So we have databases like Cassandra, Cockroach DB, and we have a data caching solution like Redis and Memcache, which are basically commonly used for distributed data. And security is also one of the most important part of the thing. Like we have critical security features should be there. Techniques such as encryption, authentication, authorization must be there, and monitoring tools and techniques should be there, like distributed tracing, logging, matrices, collection, etc. So these are the few things that you must know or must be have some idea about before going towards the CQRS pattern as well, because it's also is a part of this, but these are the something that you should know. That's it.
Fine, I guess now we are going to wrap up the session from here. So thank you, Vipin, and thank you, Akshay, for delivering the session and stretching it as per the inconvenience caused.
No problem.
And yeah, thanks, and thank you for to all the participants for joining the session. And have a great week ahead. Happy Holi in advance.
Yeah, happy Holi, everybody. You are a very great audience. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Happy Holi. Thank you.
Thank you.
Vipin.
Thank you.